Hey everyone, so this is the remake of Flutter form validation using Riverpod. So I have recently made the article for the Firebase auth. We will be using this same repo to validate this form. So we have the basic app. This have the custom text field, and the sign up button. So the plan is when the email and password is validated, then the sign up button will be enabled, and if it is not validated, then we will show the simple message at the below of the email and the password too. So that's all. For this login page, it's the same form, but if your app has different business logic, then you can change it. So we will clone the repo, and first we have to run the pop build and pop get. So run the build command too. In talking about the directory structure, we have the lib folder in the source. We have min.dat too, but here nothing is here. We have rep the app view, which is the view for our app, and we have also wrap with the provider scope, so we can get we can use Riverpod or providers all over the app, and we have initialized the Firebase for the Firebase authentication. So in the core, we have providers for the Firebase provider. This we don't need, and custom button, yeah. So we have defined the custom button here, and we have basically basically enable or disable. We have provided a flag for enabling and disabling the button. So we will use this. And coming to the feature branch, we have auth. If you have other features, you can include over here. And we have data source and providers. We will be creating the forms over here, and we will passing the providers into view. So yeah, first let's start with the core directory. Let's define our state and the form class. So in the app form state, we will define a generic type class called app form state, which will take a generic type like the string. No, no, not the string. The type of the form. We also need to define the schema for that form. So let's define the app form state. This will be basically generated with a freeze. We need to type and annotate it. Let's give a type of the form and the statement, and we also need to get the path. Also, let's create our field. So the field is responsible for handling the data. Like if you have the error message, then the error text will be there, and the value will be also stored there, or the warning message. So let's create the field. We will accept a generic type for the field too. Let's annotate the field with the freeze and give the path. let's go to the feature and auth, and we will create a schema and the form, which will basically responsible for updating the schema by the state. Let's create a schema library. Also, we will define the schema factory constructor for empty class, which will initially will be empty. Now let's generate our freeze class. Now inside the provider directory, we will create a form, and in the form we will create login form provider dot which will extend our state notifier. It will be from the Flutter Riverpod, or you can use the hook Riverpod, anything. Now the state notifier will take a class of app form state, and app form state will have the generic type of schema or login form schema. Login schema. Now let's generate the constructor and give the super class. At the initial, we will just have a both form is empty, so we will create an empty class for you. Now let's create a method for setting the email. So the for set email, we will create a final field called form. Need to give a generic type for the generated function, so generated class. Now we will create an email. Field will be email. Email field. Let's create an extension over here. So the extension will be on the type string, will be the return type of bool. So we will use validate email extension that we have recently created here. To add each valid field.
If the image is empty and the user haven't typed anything, then will not show any error message. We'll just provide this one or as null too, and this will not be valid too either. And if the image is valid, then we will make error message null and is valid to true. In the else condition, there will be enter valid email and is valid will be also false. We need to assign the form field, email field to the state.
Let's type pass this one. This and for the password too, we will create a similar function. It will be basically similar. Let's just copy this one. Okay, now let's just replace the validation message. Validate. Let's just Google the password validator regex. We'll grab this one, but you can use any source of validation. Now let's just create a provider for the login form. Okay, we have just let's rename this one. It will be a Notifier. Now we will be using this to set the value and set and validate each form. So we will be extracting the text field with our own custom text field which have the error message and other things. So I have extracted our text field with the custom text field. We'll replace this one. Okay, so on the things we have set the email, and whenever the whenever the field is reloaded, revealed, it will be assigned the error message if there is any error message. So we will implementing same on the password filter. And in the custom button we will be wrapping over with the consumer, and in the disable we will check if if this form that password and the form of email is valid or not. So is disable is true by default, so we need to just flip the value. So let's run the application in the emulator and let's see. No problem. We need to do the styling, and every logic is basically it's working, but for password it's not working. So we will debug it, and it's working for this button too, but we need to change the design to make it feel like it's disabled. So let's change the custom button disabled color. Okay, we have converted it into gray, so it will give the feeling of this is not the valid form. So let's work on the form for the email and password. Let's give the styling for the intervalid email. Okay, so it's working for this one too, but for the password, I think our regex is not working. Let's take that out. Okay, so we need something like camel case and uppercase too. Okay, so it's valid, and email should also be valid. Yeah, now it's valid. We can click on the sign in button. It's invalid. So yeah, this is the server validation, but there is the client validation for validating the fields. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubts, you can comment down or you can ask me anywhere.